12 News breaking news now.
Good evening. A jury has found Ian Mitcham guilty of the murder of Allison Feldman. The 31-year-old was found beaten to death in her Scottsdale home back in 2015.
Through familial DNA, detectives were able to identify Mitcham as a suspect. After more than 10 years, Feldman's family finally getting some closure.
12 News journalist William Pitts was there when the verdict was read. And Will, there is so much to unpack from this trial.
Yeah, there really is. A lot of things that were going on, a lot of evidence to unpack as well. And the reaction is something else to unpack. There was a giant sigh from a lot of the family and friends that were in that courtroom when that verdict was read. One of those was Harley Feldman. He's been in the courtroom every single day. Today, he was in the front row as the jury came down with their verdict that, yes, Ian Mitcham did, in fact, kill his daughter. Now, Allison Feldman was found dead in her Scottsdale evidence as possible. For 3 years, Scottsdale police had DNA evidence from an unidentified male, but no name to go with it. Then they tried a new technique at the time, trying to match DNA to family members with DNA profiles that were already on record. That led them to Ian Mitcham's brother, who was in prison. Scottsdale police found they then had a vial of Ian Mitcham's blood from an old DUI stop. They tested it, and it matched the DNA they found from the crime scene. That then set off years of legal challenges before the DNA evidence could be admitted, and 11 years later, a guilty verdict for Allison Feldman's family and friends.
I was so impressed with the jurors who listened to 4 months of testimony, some very long days, and they were all very attentive. And the jurors who said absolutely did it with emotion. He had really thought about it and got there.
There were definitely days that were longer, harder. But she would have done the exact same thing if this was reversed. There's no doubt in my mind. And she deserved that, and Harley deserved to, have me be there with him too. And I didn't want him to be there by himself.
Now, that juror that Harley Feldman was talking about just there, when asked if this was his verdict, said absolutely. Everyone else just said yes, but really when the jury filed in, no one looked at Ian Mitcham. They were all looking at the Feldman family. Now, even after 5 months of trial, this is not over. This now goes to the sentencing phase. That will start on Wednesday. And Harley Feldman said it best when he came down here to talk to us afterward. Regardless of what the sentence is on Wednesday after the sentencing phase, they're the ones who have the life sentence. We're live in Phoenix. William Pitts, 12 News.
And Will, we know that this is a death penalty case. With the speed that they reached a guilty verdict today, is there anything to be read into what could happen on Wednesday?
Really, you can read a lot of things into how long a jury deliberates if you wanted to, but really there's no way to know because they were told specifically when they got their jury instructions, do not consider what a possible penalty might be when you're deciding guilt or innocence. Sentencing will come later. That's when you have to make that decision. And really, you can never tell what a jury is going to do when faced with a decision to either put someone in life for life in prison or put them to death. That's a decision that they will definitely have to come up with on their own and after a lot of the evidence has been presented.
All right, Will Pitts, great job out there covering that trial. Appreciate it.